Muchas gracias, hermana. Thank you so much. It's not one minute. Don't leave. Por si Jubilee, bueno, Jaime, nuestra hermana Jubilee te va a acompañar, se va a unir contigo y vamos todos a cantar en alabanza hacia nuestro Rey de los cielos. Now we're going to sing together, join all our voices, and sing praises to our God Almighty. Y vamos a entrar en el tema de una vez. Let us go into the theme right away, and I'm going to invite our panelists them for this night. Voy a invitar entonces a nuestros panelistas para esta noche. Tenemos en primera instancia Mr. Edison Jackson. In first film, we have Mr. Edison Jackson. He is known as a captain in and out of our archipelago. So let us give him a big hand. Es reconocido como el capitán de barco dentro y fuera de nuestro archipiélago. Welcome, brother. You can see it. Our next panelist is Miss Milidiana Brandt. La señora Milidiana Brandt es profesora del colegio Bautista Immanuel. She's teacher here in the Immanuel God School, and she's going to be one of our panelists also. Joining with them, we have Mr. Bruce Hooker. Uniéndose a ellos tenemos al señor Bruce Hooker, reconocido músico y director de orquesta dentro del archipiélago. He's a recognized musician and band director here in the island of San Andreas. Also, we have Mr. Samuel Robinson. Tenemos al señor Samuel Robinson. El doctor Samuel Robinson, quien es optometrist. He's optometrist from here our department, and he is here to talk a little about our customs and traditions. Está aquí para hablar acerca de nuestras costumbres y nuestras tradiciones. The last one to join the panel, el último en unirse al panel esta noche, el señor Fidel Corpus. This is Mr. Fidel Corpus. Mr. Fidel is part of the historical school of the department here in the archipelago. Él es miembro de la escuela de historia del departamento insular. So, these are them. Let's give them all a big hand. Estos son todos y vamos a darles un muy fuerte aplauso. So, to begin, para dar inicio a la exposición y de los temas, vamos a empezar con el señor Edison Jackson, nuestro capitán. We're going to begin with our captain, Mr. Edison Jackson, who's going to be talking about when San Andres had life. How was life here in our islands when we did have no life? ¿Cómo era la vida en la isla de San Andrés, específicamente en el sector de San Luis, cuando no teníamos electricidad? Señor, el micrófono es suyo.
Thank you. Good evening to all. In general, our ancestors, they used to depend on kerosene oil for lighting. They were using kerosene oil mainly for the lamps. I'm going to show each one of you our different items. We have the kerosene lamp, which is this one. We have lantern, which is also used with kerosene. We have, who know what this is? Cylinder backlight. Okay, I just use a glass bottle, but normally it's a clay bottle. It don't get hot. So when kerosene oil inside, put this wick inside, a wick, which is normally a piece of cloth if you don't have anything else. Turn it down, make up the wick good, and then you light this. You go along, searching for crabs or whatever it is, that's the light. Afterward, we get gas lamp. Who saw one of these recently? Or familiar with this? The whole gas lamp. No, not gasoline. White gas. White gas is a distillate from naphtha. Naphtha is a petroleum product. It's used, but I don't go into specification of that right now. White gas is what used to use in these gas lamps. You had a little valve here, you pump it up, and you had a little piece of cloth hanging down there. It looks like a cloth, they call it a mantle. You light this with a little piece of cotton and alcohol. Once the mantle gets heated up, you turn on the gas, and it lights up, and it lights much brighter than lantern and the regular lamp. Who know what this is? This is the old time coal iron. You will put coal inside of it, light it up, it gets hot, and you put iron with it. But of course, some other people know the words of iron, which is what we used to use to iron clothes. When you don't use it, you put on some fat and rub on it, for it not to rusty. When you use it again, you wipe off that, you'll get some pieces of planting leaf, the dry planting leaf, you clean it off, you get the next one, you clean it off, you get a piece of white cloth, or a piece of clean cloth, you clean it off, and how about when you wear iron white shirt? Hey, you have to make sure it stays clean because otherwise you will mess up your clothes. You had, people used to use flashlight also. They had some big lamp flashlight that had a big head to it, and you used to use 5 batteries. And of course they were very bright, but in the dark night they spot like any spotlight on a ship. And those were what we used to use principally when they didn't have light. Some people used to use candle if they could get candle. They never had that much candle. Mostly the Catholic Church had candles, but we used to get it We used to use candle also. So we had several ways of illuminating the night without having electricity. Well, in the late 40s, some people brought the gas lamp to San Andres. Those mainly is a company named Coleman that used to make them. Coleman, and they used to make the white gas also. The white gas mainly come from Panama. Don't follow, people used to buy it and bring it and sell it here. At night, it was wonderful and very romantic for some to enjoy moonlight. Because, when you don't have light, you have to find some way of seeing around and you enjoy moonlight. In dark night, well, we used to use what we call campfire. Or if you want to use it in Spanish, we could say fogata. But campfire was what we used to depend on in the night. And apart from running mosquito, well, we used to dance around the fire and sing, run jokes, and all these stuff. Those were our entertainment. During dark night, well, as I said, we used campfire. For transportation, we didn't have light. Of course, they said, how was the island before light? Well, of course, all of these things that I'm going to mention here was things that we do before light came inside, electric light came on the island. For transportation, we used to use horse, donkey, couple mule was there, not much. And we had so many other things. You had some trucks, Mr. Pine truck, Mr. Pinky truck, Mr. Napo truck. But the road was very bad. And plenty mud hole between here and Norton, and sometimes the truck would stop. So apart from that type of transportation, we had also canoe. People used to go in the canoe or the catboat from San Luis to Norton, and they had sometimes preferring good weather. They prefer to do that than to catch a little truck that take them out or going Norton. And sometimes it even broke down on the way. So you're going your boat and go Norton, do what you have to do and come back down. They had some bigger boat where Captain Powell and then 2 or 3 brother Powell, they had some bigger boat, they used to call them coconut boat. And they would carry those people, if people want to go with them, they go Norton, and when they're going back down, they hop on the boat and come back down again. So those were transportation that we had. After things started to become a little better, you had the first bus line, San Andres. I wonder who would remember the first bus, San Andres. Imagine not much people. But Mr. Locho had a bus and he named the Elva line. It had a big dog painted on the side, and it was the first bus running between Norton and San Luis. Then afterward, an ex-man made a bus after I see how Mr. Locho bus worked. Afterward, he came to San Andres, and he decided he can try making a bus too. And that bus, he take the same system that what Mr. Locho done, take a old truck chassis with it and so on, and he made his bus. But the bus, the chassis, they kind of twist, so the bus would have gone like this. So instead of going straight, they went, and he named the bus the Twist. That man was Mr. Hunter. I see Mr. Hunter son down there. Anyway, Mr. Hunter had this bus at the end of it. That was the next way of transportation on the island. So we had a couple things that we really, some of you didn't really know about, All right. Between Norton and San Luis, and between the Bay and Norton, it was very hard transportation, so you had to just depend on whatever means you had to get through with this. We also had some motorboat and schooners traveling between San Luis, between San Andres and Nicaragua, between San Andres and Panama, Costa Rica, Cartagena. The best thing is to go to Barranquilla, but you go to Cartagena. We had so many vessels running there. You had such as run passengers and cargo. But not just cargo alone, passenger and cargo, because they had no other way to get to the mainland. You had one in Lotus Land. You had the Providencia, Adriamar, Cisne, Golden West, Princess. I wonder who remember those names? Some of you, the older ones. Goldfield, Victoria, Persistent, Alcon, the Gloria, the Zeroma, the Rainbow, among others. They have some other ones that I really don't remember the name of them. But those were the first, the way of getting to the mainland, running from San Andres. That's how we used to get to the mainland. And to get to other countries also. Even to Jamaica, you had to run into Jamaica. In the late 50s, when they opened Freeport, we had, before and after Freeport was opened, they had a little plane running from Cartagena to here. They called it Catalina, was some seaplane. Who remember that? Nobody? Those gray-head guys know that. This Catalina used to land the pitch in the sea. And it come right up to where, more or less, where Nene Marina is now. That used to be more or less where the plane used to tie onto a buoy. And they know how to bring passengers. They have mostly military or government people and some students that go to Colombia and coming back sometimes they get a hat come down. But one of the first commercial airline after they made the airstrip, the airport we call it, or the airstrip, it was a plane by the name of Taxader. Who remember the name? Nobody? We also, only them passed the class. The plane line, the name Taxader. I tell you how much the ticket used to cost. 83 pesos. From San Andres to Cartagena, 83 pesos one way. And we as students could have gotten, we get a 50% discount. So we go from, so we got go round trip for 83 pesos. For entertainment, we had a few famous ladies that used to make something we call concerts. Concert used to consist of you fence up a piece of your yard with coconut leaves, you make a stage, and then they would have singing, mainly calypsos and country music, couple rancheras who didn't know any Spanish. And apart from that, they would charge a small fee, 50 cents or a peso to get 50 cents for children and 1 peso for adults to go in. Hey, that's one that plenty money, eh? All right. Those ladies, I'll give you a couple names. Maybe some of you might know them. Miss Kittel from up the bay. Miss Kasha. Miss Baba. This is like Papa and Canadian family. Miss Tati. Shilot and Beams from mother. Coming farther down, you had Miss Galgal. You had Miss Gertie. You had Tadoro. All of those were old ladies used to organize these concerts. That was our entertainment before light come in style, because you know what they used to use for lighting? The famous gas lamp. They will use that. Every 15 minutes or so you have to pump it up to build up the gas pressure in the cylinder to light up the place. And you used to go and have fun. Those were moments that we really miss. But hey, things change. Things change and time change. Most of the concert used to consist of singing, poems, jokes, and some of them used to organize a little, like a little drama. And Seneca can tell about that. So they used to organize a little drama, and you pass time, enjoy, have a joyful time. 1 hour, hour and a half. The most you will get 2 hours, but most of the time, hour and a half, you finish. For communication was word to mouth. Each one pass on the word to a next one, and we communicate that way. For circular, how they used to announce around that somebody dead or somebody went buried or whatever. You had several men that used to have a megaphone, and it's something that is like a cone-shaped device, and you announce 4 o'clock funeral this evening, such and such a person died. Funeral service will be at the Immanuel Baptist Church, and the rest of it. Well, those were ways of passing out information, communicating to the people what taking place. Mr. Stovall, Mr. Puffy, Mr. Jim Wilson from the hill. All of them used to be circular, carol circular. Yeah. We have we have different ways of communicating. Also with conch shell, you play a conch shell and you have announce that way you announce if a fisherman coming in with boat with a fish, or if a vessel approaching, they call it ship ahoy, or if you hear a conch shell blowing in the night, so fire. There used to be fire. If you hear church bell ringing in the night and wasn't church service, somebody dead. Those are things that we don't do anymore. But when years gone by before light coming style, that was communicating, a way of communicating. Nowadays you got your WhatsApp, you got Facebook, you have radio station, all of these way of telling things, no? So there was way of communicating. You get light in the late, in the 50s, you had light, nah, 10, but San Luis never had light. So you had light along the road. And some people, a few people had light in their house, but not everybody had to pay for that. The light used to come on at 6 in the evening and go off at midnight. After that, it's darkness again. When the light come on, quarter to 12, they would lower the light and bring it back up. That tell you, we got 15 minutes worth it before light go. Well, that was good. At least you had a little light up there. San Luis, we don't get lighted in the 60s. And that was on the road only for a while. More than a year, it was just on the road. After they see that it's working good, then they started to connect up in houses in the late 60s. But, you know, we used to enjoy studying under the light pole when, you know, had light, it was much brighter than kerosene lamps. So we used to go under the light pole along the road and study the area in the night. Those are things where, hey, you know, I didn't need to do that. But well, we have to do them things to make it, to make by. We had I don't know if anybody remember the first ice cream parlor in our thing. Mr. Nico. He come afterward. You know, Mr. Nico Olson was the first ice cream parlor. And then Uncle Jolly, the old man from on the hill, used to make ice cream in the pocket, in a carretilla or a wheelbarrow. You go down and selling his ice cream. You buy one, that was a treat to buy one ice cream for 20 cents. That was the price them time. Afterward, they made the price of 50 cents, but no, if you have a 50 cents, you get an ice cream cone. Uncle Jolly, then afterward, Mr. Rick Steele down here used to do the same thing like Uncle Jolly. Beda. Jaime Hooker, he used to do it also. Miss Vivian just started ice cream up the Beda. She used to sell ice cream down by Mr. Arthur Place long ago. All right. As you can see, we have come a long way. And since that, then of course, we got all these modern things. We have light. Even though light go now and then, and we go back to the old time style in the darkness, but what can we do? We just have to enjoy. That's all I can remember for what used to be before light comes on this and just after light comes. You enjoy your evening and the rest of the panel.
Thank you, Brother Jackson. Muchísimas gracias, Mr. Edison. Antes de continuar, before we continue with the panelists this evening, con los panelistas esta tarde, para que ustedes sepan, para los que nos observan, y para que ustedes también tengan en mente, for you to know, for those who are observing through the media, and for you also to have it in mind. We're going to have 30 minutes to make our exposition. Tienen 30 minutos para hacer su exposición. A los 30, faltando 5 minutos para los 30, se levantará una paleta donde dice faltan 5 minutos. We will lift up a pallet, shouting 5 minutes to finish your exposition. That will indicate to you that you have 5 minutes more to go. When the 5 minutes is up, then you will hear that little bell ringing, okay? Faltando 5 minutos, la campanita sonará para indicarle a usted que su tiempo terminó. Ahora, es importante, it's very important for us to know. While the exposition are going on, if you have something to afford, let us keep it until the end. Mientras el expositor esté hablando y esté exponiendo, si nosotros tenemos algo que aportar, esto va para los panelistas, nos lo reservamos hasta el final. Podemos contribuir a lo que haya dicho. Las preguntas se harán después de que todos los panelistas terminen. All questions will be asked at the end after all panelists they are going to. ¿Ok? ¿Entendido? Audiencia, ¿lo entendimos? Señores, do you understand? Okay, so we continue this night, seguimos esta noche con Miss Meridiana Brand, que va a estar hablando acerca de las plantas medicinales utilizadas aquí en nuestro departamento, en la isla. She's going to be talking about our bush medicine. So let us receive her with a big hand. Vamos a recibirla con un fuerte aplauso. Miss Meridiana.
Okay, good night. It's a pleasure for me when we invite me to this panel. It's a theme that I really like. Fíjate, vemos para no ver en front of la obra se son berracos. Okay, so all this with the medicinal and traditional plants, well, this is just like something where I get in love. And always I would remember Miss Lily Pommier, that is like a teacher for me, like she instruct and help me learn more about the benefit of the plant. And yeah, when we're coming up, the parents and when it starts, the March, the in a year, but the March was a blessing, was the most these things about the plant is very necessary that we have to keep it up and not make it last. And when we, the young people them, the children them, we can get the opportunity in the kind of space to embrace it because you know, can't make all of them treasure go. So we have to keep up the quality. My exposition in the panel about the traditional and medicinal plants as an address preserving and transmitting rights and knowledge to the new generation. As a teacher, what I try to do in all this process of learning every day about the plant, that we keep up the tradition and help the people in them when we continue know about all the planting. Because when I was small young coming up, my age, they never use the medicinal plant. There's so much things like when to the day where I see the embrace and it's good for this, it's good for the other. And it's so pretty to know so that some of them plants, they mix it together with the different sickness, the cure, and then can make subproduct out of the plant, they make soap, so it's very interesting. So the objective, I think we recognize the value of these traditional plants them and part of the part of the rights and cultural heritage, and we encourage the preservation and transmission of this knowledge to the new generation. Okay, why this topic is important? It's important because the medicinal plant, the part of the racial culture and identity. It's important because as we family have used that plant many years to treat common illness. It's important because elders teach the knowledge to children and young people. That's what I'm talking about. And today this tradition is disappearing because of modern lifestyle. And it's important topic because protecting this knowledge helps to serve our culture Okay. Well, but like how you want to talk about some is so much, but it's somewhere more call me attention, away. Maybe I never pay mind so much to it. The name they sometimes like the name they have, but during the process of when other sickness or people got suffer with something, you go and look the rambo, the sharam. Also, these are one of the plants where I see they use more when time people trouble with breeze. When people trouble with breeze, they use that for that they mix it too with the miracle. They buy them and drink them. They use like tonic in nerves, people with trouble with nerves, and anti-inflammatory, antidepressant. Well, these are plenty because when you turn around and look, what I get to know, the time that pass and the plant they go to more and more things. So when you look, two plants good for the same sickness whatsoever. Well, the basil, but you know the basil when we normally when know the basil say put the basil well in a food. Now the people what they do that use the basil for nerves. I guess you know like when people can't sleep at night time or anything, they can drink basil tea, you know. So that is I get to know to say the basil. It comes to be like a gamble one shop in town, no? Well, I never hear in the traditional in a way culture, but I saw the seat by the shop, the entrance of the shop, the store in the town, and I remember I had the experience the scent, high and sweet, nice, and I asked the owner of the store why they have the basil plant by the entrance. So they said the basil plant to we it has good energy and it gives us good luck to people go in. People go in, people buy. So it highly but so it's just like so more and more they get you know the plant and why they use it for different things. The tree of life. The tree of life are one of my favorite plant because when this plant how's it called now? We try to struggle with plenty cough, sore throat, and these are when the star plant, like how is it? You know? So when I go find out this plant, I never know this about the plant, but when my son started the process with the cancer, this was one of the plants when they tell me, you know, the tree alive and good for cancer. You know, the CMI, you mash it, you beat it, and that same juice will come out there and drink it. Well, I never know that one, so never late fill and all everything. So, and one of the experience too I have with the tree alive, where I see the people like them more active with it, they use it like and cut it like how you say you make like one green salad, and then put it in a container and sprinkle salt on it and then eat it just like it, yeah, and it's really something nice. Well, the cassava marble, the inflammation, the womb, the stomach, and it helps the pain and menstruation also. Pain in the body and the menstruation. Okay? Next. Well, you know the sabina, the aloe vera well, it comes to be well. We can't don't talk about it because every time you're going to know more and more what the power of the aloe vera and the sabina and the cat. Sing to Bible. Sing to Bible. And yeah, Mario can. Okay, well, because when we got something, more knowledge, people will know more about But I only encourage us to continue there. More and more. Margin, well, by the same so I talk about plenty plant, but in the part where if you afford anybody wants question or anything, we can just share more experience with other things we're good for. So I thank you all and blessing.
We thank you, Miss. Las gracias te la damos nosotros a ti. And we keep on. Vamos a seguir y en estos momentos interviene el señor Bruce Hooker. At this time, our music director and artist will be taking the mic.
Thank you very much. I thank Pastor Simpson to invite me because he had invited me before, but I failed. I couldn't make it. So excuse me, but I'm here tonight. I want to talk about Mr. Sidious. I don't know if you are going to have people here that know about Sidious, but his right name was Eusebio Martinez. Eusebio Martinez, amongst the typical group in San Andres,
Let us try that one.
is the best musician in the typical group that San Andres ever had. From my personal concept, Mr. Sidious was a genius in music. Plenty of people didn't know that. Mr. Sidious was born in 1921, the 20th of August. He was living in Zombie. I can say Zombie is the barrio that music starts in San Andres. When I talk about music, I'm talking about live music, not pick up. But live music starts in Zombie. Maybe plenty of people don't know that, but in reality. Maestro Sidious was a farmer, fisherman, and a musician. He once, when he went to fishing, he find a boat, something like, how would I say, what we met the door about, and he take that boat and build his own mandolin. I don't know if you are hear about that. Build a mandolin, and he used the same string them that he used to fish in with, and put them on the mandolin and play his mandolin. Besides that, well, he teach a lot of musicians down south, like Red Green, Tommy Taylor, and someone on the farm, a group that was by the name of Bahia Sonora. Bahia Sonora was the first music group that San Andres had. Them used to play at the Bohíos. He didn't want, but the people that insist on friends, they own out the restaurant until they convince him to go there and play. It's a pity that in San Andres you don't have, let's say, a statue or something to remind a musician like Maestro Sidious. When I get to know Maestro Sidious, when I came back from studying music, we meet up at the Casa de la Cultura, because Casa de la Cultura, we create like a school, a music school, and I get to know him. We had in conjunto, and who helped Mr. Sidious.
Sorry, Professor, will you just please talk a little bit more louder? We are not hearing too good.
Okay, okay. I said, when Mr. Sidious went to the Casa de la Cultura, Miss Chiqui is one of the persons that helped him out a lot. Because, you see, they used to play, but just for amusement and things like that. But afterward, in getting with the Decameron people, and then it start a work and make money, no? But when he went to the Casa de la Cultura, Miss Chiqui was known, and they had in Medellin called Tejer. And they used to accompany the dancing group and down south. So, besides that, Mr. Sidious had been in Cartagena to the festival that the Caribbean that we used to make. in a contest, he won a contest in Costa Rica. And I believe you all know nothing about that. And he used to play also. When I get to know Mr. Cyrus, we woke up at the Cameroon. My orchestra was playing there. He played in the evening and I used to play in the night. And we used to sit down and talk. It was a very nice forum to sit down and talk and hear about music in San Andres. Music, that is what we would have said, the father of the music in San Andres. As I said, I repeat, it's a pity that they didn't have Mr. Cyrus in mind, but nothing at all. Today they should have a statue with somebody like Mr. Cyrus, and nothing like that exists. They don't have here a committee that go around and look for people that have talent that no exist in San Andres. You know, people that know the culture of San Andres is done. It's hard for me to say, but in reality, one of the last government that we have here had finished away with San Andres culture. With all the carnival and all those things, they finished away with it. But sorry to say, but that is a fact. No? Mr. Cyrus grabbed his first CD with Mr. Alvan McLean from Providence. They come together and they make a long play. And I'm almost sure that he didn't receive money, because what they call that have a name, when you make a record, regalias, exactly, he didn't get nothing at all. Just what he grabbed, and that was all. Mr. Cyrus dead in 1987, at the age of 87 years. So my talk here is a little short too. I don't want to go too far because maybe come on. No. Thank you all to listen to about Mr. Cyrus.
Thanks to you, brother. Professor, Mr. Bruce, thank you. And here with us now, ahora con nosotros, el Dr. Samuel Robinson. Dr. Samuel Robinson will be telling us something about our toponymia, the real names of the different sections in San Luis, los nombres reales de los diferentes lugares en San Luis. Yes.
Thank you all very, very much, and it's a pleasure for me to be here. Good afternoon. I want to thank Pastor Simpson and Ms. Marisa for inviting me here to be with you all, talking about this word we say toponymia is toponymia in English. What it concerns is the original name of the place. Original name of the place. That is like our surname. They have a bad custom here in the island, and changing and translating the surname them and the places. Toponymia means not to change the name. If the name is in Spanish, you have to stay in Spanish. I can't say Newbal, I say Bola Nueva. It have to be Newbal. Robinson in Asobando Hijo. So that is thing that we have to have clear. The proper name. That's what we have to do. And it's something that I always, topical Camino del Espanto. What that? Huh? The proper name not supposed to change. So it's the same thing, the original name of the places here is the same thing. That is something that I insist for years talking about that, and we're still doing it here in San Andres and in Providence. We're saying the same thing. The plain name, Bailey, in name, they call it Valle, is Bailey. Bailey is a surname. So that is what I want to explain to you. I bring a map here to show more or less the original name them, especially in this section of the island. The section of the island will be more or less, Pastor tell me say we start here from Orange Hill. Huh? And then, excuse me? Okay.
right this way, right this way.
Okay, thank you, Brother Fidel. Orange Hill, some people call it, one of my good friends at work all the time with listen here. You hear it again? Look. You hear what he said? Lomanaram. I know like they're saying it all the time. So, Orange Hill, and right beside it you have Mr. Alfredo Martin. He worked on, and he's a topographer. He said olive tree, that is right practically in front. And then he start somewhere along there, we have Orange Hill, and right in front we have Hind Bite. Then you get from Hind Bite, Hines is a surname. You come down, you get Bay. I want to say something. If I forget any of these names, anybody want to reinforce it, can go ahead because. Okay. So when they come back down, we got all this part of the island. So this from here, come right down. This is really the part is south. Start here north, then come down. Different. We start talking about something that is very important. We are always saying, or the up to now, San Luis. Where that name San Luis come from? They had a man, in those times the island had, we call it, instead of intendant, we had what we call, he was a prefect, a prefecto. Because in those times we wasn't an intendencia, so we had a prefect. So this man, his name was Antonio Escalona, but he never like see him. So he said Captain Jackson there, he never used to see sick plenty. So he said, when he sent him from Cartagena, remember now, is your family, your ancestor, or you like see though? All right, so he come right down, and when he come as the place they used to call it Canton. So the canton from the Department of Bolivar was San Andres, the 9th canton. So they send him as a prefect, governor. So when he come here and he sees, when he come in, he said, I will never go back on a boat. So he never knew none of the island them that we had outside. For instance, we had Old Providence, then we had down there we had what we call Carn Island. The name was San Luis del Mangle. And afterward they changed it to Carn Island. So instead of saying, because the original name of down here was Garf. Who remember Garf? A lot of people still stay in Garf, but we say San Luis and it stays San Luis. Who gave that name was Antonio Escalona. So that's what he called San Luis de Providencia. So he divided up all the places them and give name San Luis de Providencia. So that's the reason why I don't hear name San Luis, but we used to call it Garf. And Garf is a surname. You have several family here of people that had that surname Garf. I don't know if you remember Geraldo Williams. He was Geraldo Williams Garf. You had Jeremiah Mitchell Garf, and so on one, maybe you all remember some of these people had that title. So Garf is a title and was the name of that place. You had two sisters here, named, one of them named Mary Garf. That's right, way along there where the Catholic church is. We call it, that was we call, she was right down there, Mary Garf. And according to what they said, that he was his sweetheart and Mr. Antonio Escalona. But I don't want to go into go deep in sentimental part, just that part of it. No? So coming down now we come to have Bay, Cocoa Plum Bay, Old Pint, by a Honda. Exactly, that is somewhere along here. No, look, Pastor, it's very hard to explain because, look, what I'm saying for is that bay, you lift up on Orange Hill, you get to, and there you come right down, you get to bay. And then after you get bay, you have Cocoa Plum Bay. Everybody know where landscape Cocoa Plum Bay. It's very hard to exactly Cocoa Plum Bay is land, practically land where they have a Rocky Key and all those places land there. Why they call it that way? Because we had a lot of cocoa plum in that section. Up to now you have some cocoa plum tree there. And then you get one next part and there you come right down until you get where we are now, Flat Farm. We have a name we call Flat Farm, it's Flat Farm. Farm is a place where you plant. That's the reason why land where we are right now is named Flat Farm. And then you come from Flat Farm, you come right down until you get Big Golf, or what you call, or say is Freetown. No? And after that, we come right down, we have Hofi. From Freetown, you come down to get Hofi. Jimpan, then you get Hofi. Come right down, and then afterward from Hofi, you come with Hofi land. You get until where you call land there by your ranch, we call Hofi. And after you get Ginny Bay. And then after Ginny Bay, then you have Cage and Carl. And then from Cage and Carl, you get Ground Road. And after Ground Road, then you get this one is where you call where the Catholic Church is San Jose. Dorna Pan. Dorna was a lady. And then Dorna Pan, you come down, you get Sound Bay. After Sound Bay, you get down there until you get Spanish Town. And then after Spanish Town, then you get this place called, I think it's Boy Bay. No, Smith Channels.
Sorry, let's remember that our intervention will be at the end of the exposition.
But I think it's very important that we can continue correctly because
you do your exposition, thank you, and then at the end they will make whatever contribution they have to make.
Okay, thank you very much. So I given the name them as I tell you before. If I skip out any of them or get all of them, then I will explain. Then you have Smith Channel, then you have Bowie Bay, and you get Lever, some we really call Tana, until you get away down here at the south of the island. So that would be my intervention. Thank you very much.
Thank to you, Doc. And ending the panel of discussion this evening, para finalizar las exposiciones esta noche, llamamos al señor Fidel Corpus. Here we have Mr. Fidel Corpus. He's going to be talking when San Luis was the town, the capital of our department here in the Departamento Insular, San Luis como capital.
Okay, thank you very much. Before I say anything else, I am greeting Rosemary, who facilitated me a picture of St. Louis, printed by Mr. Hubbard J. Pan and President of Pastor Bonnet Williams. He exhibited this at his home, all the days of his life, and as a tribute to him, I will proceed again to say thanks to you all who have put me in this situation that I do not know how I'm come out of it. The question was asked, what was St. Louis like as first town shipping and shopping center? As first town and shopping center, St. Louis was like a natural home, sweet home of everybody. The gateway to the world and the showcase from the world. Why the gateway? Is because here on San Luis is where we had the first dock or wharf that was built exactly in the middle of San Andres, right in front of Pine Reef, at the place where is the best fair place to build a dock. And the same place was allotted to Tommy Goff. That's why the name Goff. And the place name Goff Bay for the name Goff Bight. And Goff Port after they come to the port. And the whole of that section named Goff, further named Goff Rum, and little further and that named Goff Hillside. But what was the effort or the work of the people of San Andres to put San Luis in the first part of our history? Because San Luis was declared free port by Thomas O'Neill in the year of 1792 when he arrived to San Andres. And from that seaport is where Tommy Goff worked hard to put it where it is until then. During his first settler of San Andres, before Tommy Goff came to San Andres used to export from there cotton, tobacco, and indigo. Please show me that Maria, the second. Okay. That what you see there. Okay, I see there. Okay. It's a plant. You can see, not sure. See? You're not sure there. Okay. That's a plant in San Andres that they used to have here. And with that they call that blue gold. It's a very important plant. And that plant used to dye clothes and whatsoever special. They had different color of that indigo. And that was what was used in Europe. They could hardly find that anywhere. San Andres was the place that they could plant that. So that indigo was a very expensive plant. Maybe you'll find some of them in San Andres still. You can see the bird, San Andres bird, which is the wish bird, not the wish bird, the chimcherry, feeding off of this. That means that maybe you still have that in San Andres. In the year of 1850 to 1930, we had coconut at that time. We had coconut oil, copra, avocado, we call pear, oranges, mainly to the United States, Europe, Jamaica, Cartagena, even to Nicaragua. San Andres people used to sell oranges and pear. And in the year of 1935 till 1994 approximately, we only had a market with Cartagena selling coconut, oranges, and avocado. All these things, when San Luis was the capital, used to make San Andres be progressive. We always say that when San Luis was the capital, it was the best moment of the Raizal people. Because San Luis was an easy place for everybody to get and to participate in whatsoever happening. That put San Luis in a spot where we become the first town of the island and the seat of the governor at that time. Please tell me the other one that shows San Luis there. Okay. If you all can notice, to the bottom, coming to you, we are going to go on the bottom, go to the top. Right to the east side is the shop for Mr. Who? No, Rubenstein, no. This is Arbito Linton, the shop that burned down. Linton shop burned down. And in front of that, you will see another big house. It is the house of Mr. Jeremiah Linton. All these things was pinned by Howard J. Pang and presented to Pastor Bonell Williams. Go ahead, right after Jeremiah Linton house, you had a red house. That was the stock company, Arthur May. In this place was where they had the big concert of San Andres, and where Arthur May used to promote culture and promote the people. He used to buy instruments and sing it to the people, and have the people there singing every Saturday night, and they call that place the microphone. You can see in the front of that house, there was another house, a coconut house. And in front of that, another coconut house, there are two coconut houses right in front of where Arthur May had his place. If it come further down, you could see the swarms them had there right before, right underneath this. But go ahead now, you can see now, what coming there now is Mr. Rankin House, Captain Rankin House, Miss Murray House. After, behind that, you have the Smith Corpus House. And there come Mr. Rubenstein. You notice the Rubenstein, in front of the Rubenstein, you see the dock. That was a dock there. But before this dock was there, we had sand. It was a beach. Right behind Mr. Joab was a big beach with 2 or 3 rows of coconut trees. Come right across, right around at the main house, go around the back of Miss Iva houses, right down to Sun Bay was beach. I used to call it right in front where at the main house is now the gutter. People used to walk from San Luis, come right through the bay and go right down to Sun Bay because it was pure, what you call beach. Behind Mr. Ray's house, the beach moved from there the erosion because they had a big grass piece in that city because it was a big grass piece. And they used to have the horses there. And notice now we have a big pool. Behind Atamir house is when they put Atamir house there because he was living first in Rocky Key. And they take the bridge, they open the bridge for the water to come out of the pan. Is that wash around the beach and leave the beach this kind of way. That's why Atamir house stayed in the year. When he built a house there, it was on flat. In front of Atamir house, there was another little house that was a government place. They had a corregidor there, they had a governor there, they had the what they call, everything that happened to the governor used to be there. Ahead of that, you had another building which was belonged to the family of Luciano Howard. And come on ahead, you find the church, Adventist Church. See Adventist Church there? Then beside the Adventist Church was Juna Ellis, Walter's place, my great-grandmother. She was who gave this land to the church, half of her land to build the Adventist Church. Behind that, you will find Cipriano Stevens' family home, Uncle Willie, Uncle Mr. Baden, and away behind there, you will find another house which was belonged to the McLaughlin. Side of that, you will find Dr. Francis' house, Mr. Cannon. Coming down, then you come now and find the same up on the top, Mr. Tim Place. Tim, he was Mr. Tim Robinson. He was elected alcalde in 1915. And in front of that was Rubenstein, and the last house at the bottom was Tim Corpus Place, where he also come to be prefect of San Andres, Providence, and Catalina. What happened and who were the people leading people in San Andres? Show me the one who have the money married. Okay, that kindly financed with a Rubinstein. That was the money that used to circle in San Andres. And in every place where San Andres people had business, that was the current. And why this man had to use it? Because Colombia did not send money to San Andres at all. So they had nowhere to make no negotiation. So this man, Isidro Rubinstein, decided he wanted to make money to circle in San Andres. Colombia had always abandoned us. They did not have a bank. I had nobody to send the money here, so we had to make our own money. So this happened in the SU 1918 approximately, when they had this kind of money. Who were the leading people of San Andres that had business or had something to do with the economy? Ching Ping San J, this is Papa China. Woki J Lang J Pang. Pinky G, Lo Chow, Louis G, Napoleon Palasman wife, Vanderbilt Boy, Jua Bohangis Kalona Ashbol, Jeremiah Linton Rubinstein. We continue on with Arthur May Hawkins, Lissandro May, Willingworth May, Ollie Pine, Joe Pusey, Ulysses Howard, Henry Stevens, Celso Simpson Gav, Peter Henry, Ardito Linton, David Bowie. All these people were the leading people of San Andres who made San Andres sweeter and better. When we talk about San Andres, we find a place that looks so sweet at home for everybody. It was the bloom and the green forest between land and crystal sea water, open to the world for shipping and importing, while the risers are the happy gardeners of Eden, fasteners of identity and culture. St. Louis is and was at all times the gateway to and the showcase of the modern world. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you, Brother Corpus. Muchísimas gracias, Mr. Corpus. Y ahora sí, no it's time for you to take part, es tiempo para que usted participe. Pueden formular sus preguntas. Dirán a cuál de los panelistas le están formulando la pregunta y ellos tendrán la posibilidad de contestarles. You will tell us which one of the panelists you are making your question to, and then they will have the opportunity to answer this. So who's going to be the first one? ¿Quién va a ser el primero en hacer sus preguntas? Levanten la mano, se le acerca el micrófono. Just lift your hand and we get the mic to you. Everything was clear tonight. Whoa, no question. No hay preguntas. Okay.
I want to say to Meridiana, one flowers what they're using a lot for is the, I don't know how they really call it, or the Bungalia, but we call it the Jerusalem flowers. Only when dry weather you see plenty. Right now, you know why when the military them in the beard of pink flowers, it show through the railing. That very good for them rotten cover they produce right now, and sharpness. And sharpness, you take it off. You buy it and drink it if you want to drink it warm, or put it in the nevera like a water. You drink it and they take off all the flame off the stomach. They're using that a lot. And for the sugar, what then they use plenty is they use guava leaf to not sugar, but the almond leaf, the dry almond leaf, you boil it and you drink it to feed the sugar. Okay?
Thank you so much for that compliment. Gracias por complementar la expresión de Miss Meridiana. ¿Quién más? ¿Quién dijo yo? Okay.
Mr. Edison, I want to tell you, say, I got my grate at home, I got my scrumboard, and I bring me back like kerosene. If I remember, I bring mushroom, but I got all at home.
Thank you, Miss. Gracias. ¿Quién dijo yo?
Well, I am a woman of bush too. And I feel like Millie should make a more extensive explanation about the plants and because, well, she couldn't really, it's so extensive that she won't finish tonight. But it's a lot of bush that is using, and next time you prepare something longer that the children then, because every year at school they have certain time that the children then have to make an exposition with the different medicine plants them, and this is an occasion that we can share with them more plants that they can expose when, because it's a lot of, the team is very extensive to done in one night, but next time you will try to do something more extensive. We have the vervine that you use it for young baby when they have cold, even for adult people. We have the vervine. You talk about one that I love plenty to the one where you say you use the salt or anything. The tree of life, I always keep it in my yard. You have the one that they use when they have lame or anything. There is colors. Is a famous bush also. We have the moringa coming late, but it's a very good plant and a useful plant, the moringa. We have you explain about the rambo dashalan. We have the sage. We use a lot, I love the Simple Bible. And it's a lot of plants they're using now. Everybody plant yucca. And today they are using the yucca leaf. They're using the potato leaf. It's a lot of, so it's an extensive theme, but I am one who love me bush.
Thank you, Miss Demba. Muchas gracias, Miss.
Yeah, good night. We used to have some bushes like monkey apple leaf. We got two now. All them things that the old people used to use for medicine because can remember them old lady get up and got their head tied up with monkey apple leaf and they said that ease pain ahead. They use it for inflammation and all kind of things like that. But Dr. Samuel,
Yes, sir.
more than a question, I believe it would be wise to get together with someone and rectify these names because there is some inconsistency with the names them from St. Louis. So we have some things like from Grom Road is extensive, and in Grom Road you have a lot of names that need to be included. So I believe we could get together with someone and rectify them kind of things.
Thank you very much.
Well, I want to tell Emiliana about the callaloo. I don't know how much you know about it. It's a plant that good to carry up your defense. And it's good for, you can put it in your soup. I use it every Sunday morning in my eggs. And anyway, I say a good callaloo, I will try to get the plant, I get off the leaf them and use the leaves. So you can promote the callaloo. It is important. All in time, it was very, very important in the food for the people. And Mr. Jackson, I would like to collaborate with the lantern and the lamp. The lantern used to use in the hall only on the center table to light up the hall and you study with it and thing. And the lantern, you use it when you're going bathroom, when you're going to go make carry a message, you're going shop or anything in the night. I used to read. I used to tell you about the pay and I read. So anyway, I go with my lantern, you know, because the reason of the lantern, so you go with the lantern, but the lamp keep inside in the hall on the table.
Many thanks, thank you. Muchas gracias.
Mr. Fidel Corpus, I see you had some name there with the famous businessman then, right? And I see like a Peter Henry there. Is Peter Henry from the VA? Okay, thanks. Well, okay, that me we famous.
Yes. You are okay. Hear the answer.
It's good that you all know that a business. Money doesn't have to be a big business.
Yeah.
You have to be a small business, but I like quite along with it. So I remember I used to buy a nail from Peter Henry, the 20 cent, the 5 little nail. And they used to buy the nail for 50 cent and sell it for 10 cent the guy that helped the poor. Peter Henry always said the cheaper way by what Peter Henry had in shop. Peter Henry had in shop. I remember that.
Mr. Edison Jackson, I want to say something about the Solinda. That Solinda is what we used to study or lesson with. That time when we go in school next day, my mother would have said, make sure you clean out your nose hole with the Solinda. You know, the Solinda make you blacken your nose hole, but that is what we used to study or lesson with. Okay.
Gracias. Thank you.
Good night. I just want to give about the lamp. Normally, I used to hear my old instead of say that the burn oil from the lamp, they used to use it for plenty other sickness. They used to take the burnt kerosene with liquid sugar and they used to mix it and give it, and it used to go for plenty other different sickness I used to hear.
Yes. Okay. ¿Any other contribution? ¿Alguna otra persona contribuye a las exposiciones o hace alguna pregunta? There is any question to ask? ¿Quién dijo yo? Who says me? All right, here goes.
Remember, Dr. Fidel, that in the list they exclude Mr. Gomez was one of the businessmen too in the island. Joe Gomez.
I have something that I want you to comment. Aside, forget it. It's good that you know that in the year 1930, when they had the drought in San Andres and all the coconut trees died in San Andres, the only person that saved every coconut tree was Joe Gomez. And they asked him, why, what you did to save all your tree, did you screw them? And he said, no, I only used to tithe. He only used to tithe and the Lord protect his things because he tithe for the Lord. So tithing made Joe Gomez save all his coconut tree because he used to tithe. Very, very important that we know that. Joe Gomez saved all his coconut tree because he used to tithe very good to the church.
Thank you for that. Muchas gracias por eso, señor Fidel. ¿Quién más?
I want to ask Prof. Bruce, if when in time with Mr. Cybers, if no woman never participate in the music, I don't hear no woman because she is a musician.
Miss Shiki is the one that who helped Maestro Cyrus in term with the group, dancing group to Cotejer in Medellin and Bogota. And he accompanied him in Costa Rica to a festival too.
To complement the cast, Cyrus was my very good friend. He came for a split in Colombia with the Bahia Sonora group in 1972 when they participated in the Festival Folclórico Nacional. And they came for a space in the country. So you don't know that Cyrus was not only famous in San Andres, but in the whole Colombia as the best musician in Colombia in 1972. So we have to remember that also he was the first person that played the beautiful San Andres on his mandolin in 1972, which is the song composed by Mrs. Cecilia Francis Hada, everybody know, beautiful San Andres. I had the privilege to have the Bahia Sonora group at my home in Cartagena when they were doing Festival de Caribe. I invited them at my home, and I had that big privilege to say that I could host them there, and that is the greatest event ever happened to us in Cartagena with the Bahia Sonora group. Thank you very much.
I just want to say something about talking about Mrs. Cyrus. Well, every time my birthday, who was there at my home at the present was Brother Cyrus, who was playing for me. And one thing that I like with him, the way how he never take a drink. I always tell him to drink, and he never take a drink. He sit down now there playing, and he come. I have the newspaper home that Michelle present to me when they came in 1972 by the Forest Park when he went to the festival, the premier festival of Caribbean Cartagena. So I always respect him, and one of the best mandolin player in the whole archipelago was him, the best.
Dr. Samuel, you talk about toponymia. You expose the language to it. But I did want to know from where to where, for example, Gav to Jimpan, exactly where to where. From where Jimpan, Grown Road, exactly from where to where. From where Uofi, from where to where. Yes, you give an exposition generally, but want to know, for example, if now Uofi and I got over cross over this side, which part of it? Another Uofi. If I Jinebie Uofi. That is what I want to hear clearly about the toponymia in St. Louis, which I know some of them were from spot to spot, but short was to clear up that clear.
How many excuse that?
Oh, exactly, to the point.
Exactly, precisely I told Pastor. I was trying to do my best in that sense because we have a custom here, we give all the places in different names, sometimes you don't hear them in that one map. So it's very difficult for you to, that map there, the last map that I was thinking was actually take off. And I was looking at it to put the distance. And unfortunately, I don't have it. And to tell you where from where, I don't have that information. And it's good to make it. Maybe if he does say he can do it, well, let him even do it. And you're okay, and it's very important. That's the reason why I bring that map, because I want to show you all live down here. For instance, this morning, Mr. Duffy's, we call him, he fixed a car. And I said, which part you live in? He said, the flat farm. Oh, okay. And that's the way how I get to know different places here. But also sit down and know the name them. Away from where to where. I have several people, I have, for instance, Raul Pumir, and several people I have exactly, and I will tell you humbly, I don't know to give you that exact name. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Doc. ¿Alguien más tiene algo por aportar o alguna pregunta que hacer? There is anyone else to make a question or to apport something?
I would like to collaborate with Steve. Brother Steve. Jim is after the name of Jim Evans. Jim Evans is my great-grandfather. That's why I named Jim Pan. But Jim Pan begins where? Long by glasses, Jim Pan start. And they end up exactly before Miss Affel. From Miss Affel go down the Grum Road. So it's good that we know that Jim Pan is from glasses, go right down to Forest Buku. That side of the road, yes, to Forest Buku. And behind that sign named Hofi. Why Hofi? The whole thing is named Gav or Uncle Louis Fine. What they happened that when they were letting out the land to different people of the place, the Walters, some of them still without owing some of the money for the land. So they say you can stay with this, so you are cool with that. So for that name, Ofi. In that Ofi is Ofi, O-W-F-I. Ofi, but we probably didn't want to have Ofi, but it's Ofi. But they stay so, but they really pay for it, but they end up staying near Ofi. So we have to know say why the name Ofi is because they didn't go for it, but they don't pay for it, but they still say the name Ofi.
Yeah, for example, Dorna Pan. Dorna Pan, not Dorna Pan, Dorna Pan was my great-grandmother, just like your Miss Jean Dorna. And give, before you get some beer, because many people take some beer from the bridge go down, and some beer is not from the bridge go down. From the bridge until get right by the pews, them right along there. That is Dorna Pan, and then you got some beer. More or less, I got and the name them more or less I can handle myself, and that's why Dr. Samuel never gave an explanation complete about the section, the name and why and from where to where.
Okay, it's good that we know why Grum Road, name Grum Road, and where from where to where Grum Road stayed. Grum Road is stretch of land between Jim Pan and Dorna Pan. And why name Grum Road? Because San Andres was very difficult to penetrate through the bush, the Pila swamp. So everybody used to take the ground through them side, through that flat. So that flat from Mr. Buku come right down to almost the Catholic Church. Is Grum Road because it was the only dry spot to enter to your road. That's why I named Grum Road. Go ahead.
Mr. Jesse, I want to say something a bit clear. When you come and ask me what I want to talk about toponymia, I give the explanation why it named toponymia. And that's why I say humbly, I know what different places them, but I don't know complete from where to where them is. So that's the reason why I come here to learn something. Because several names, I hear all those names. And more or less I know because from the distance, from where to where, I know. So my explanation is to explain to you all, and it's sometimes we don't leave here clear, what toponymia means. Because you have plenty of us who know what toponymia is. Not true? So that was my explanation, is when I come down here and speak to pastor and say, from where to where, and I try to look and I didn't get it complete. So this motive is to get that all of us here can give an explanation, and maybe, as how Pastor said, Fidel said, we can, who live down here, can tell us specifically where the place is. So what we're doing here tonight is to learn about the God. to learn about St. Louis. I can't tell you all everything. Every day I study about the island. And it's very hard because sometimes we change different things. So that is I thank you to be here with you all tonight.
Okay, I want to clear up two little things Samuel asked me to clear up. Where Sullivan House is, from down there to almost by Mr. Theatre, named Boy Landing. It's not big, it's named Boy Landing. And the same St. Louis, before named St. Louis, after I named Golf, it come and named Freetown, because on the 27th of March 1806, John Blight took over St. Andreas and expelled Thomas O'Neill and sent Thomas O'Neill to Cartagena as governor, and he took over for England. On the 10th of April 1806, he left St. Andreas free and called a place named Freetown. That's why it named Freetown. And when Escalona came to St. Andreas, being seasick so bad, he did not want to go to Nicaragua to make the survey, and he quickly have a St. Andreas named San Luis de Providencia. So the same place that named God, also the name Freetown, and now Queen come and name St. Louis. So you can now say the same place have the three names according to the context of the history.
That was good. Thank you so much, Mr. Fidel.
I just want to say something and to remember us. Someday used to be separated before they built the bridge, when Durnapan, we used to say Durnapan broke away, when the rain come down and they separate Durnapan from Sombay, who then not had us to stay north, and who went south had us to stay south, because you couldn't pass through the water that come in through Durnapan and things like that. And that is where it separate ground road from Sombay and things. After they built the bridge, that was what solved the problem that we had when we was little boy and coming up and things. When Durnapan broke out, you know say you're there south, you want to stay south till they fix it back, and who they not can go south.
Wow, so good, I never know that. You see, we still learn. Thanks to for the contribution. It was very important. Don't feel that bad that you don't do it good, you do it good. Muchísimas gracias a ustedes por la contribución que nos han hecho esta noche. Muy bien. Yo verdaderamente no sabía alguna de sus cosas. Vamos a darle un fuerte aplauso a todos ellos. Let's give them a big hand because they have done a good job. Han hecho un muy buen trabajo. Mr. Neil, tell me something. Somebody else has a question? No. All right. I will not leave tonight. No me iré esta noche sin antes extenderle a ustedes la invitación para que el sábado nos acompañen a la subida de Little Hill, aquí sobre la vía principal, a mi mano izquierda si vamos subiendo y a la derecha si voy bajando, donde quedaba una casa de 2 pisos de madera que ahorita mismo lo tumbaron. Era la casa de Mr. Doddy, así lo conocemos, el patio de Mr. Doddy. Not sure? That's how we know it. Ahí vamos a celebrar nuestro Yard Festival. We're going to celebrate our Yard Festival on Saturday morning, el sábado en las horas de la mañana. Estaremos iniciando a las 9. We're going to begin at 9 and we'll go on until 3. Iremos hasta las 3 de la tarde. ¿Qué van a ver ahí? Van a poder disfrutar de las comidas típicas de San Andrés. Nuestras señoras estarán preparando sus mejores comidas, platos para llevar. You can enjoy of our gastronomy, our food. Our ladies, they're going to be preparing the best plate they can prepare and taking there for sale, para vender, no va a ser gratis. You want to have drinks also, van a haber bebidas también. Habrá baile. We're going to have dancing, our typical dancing. Nuestras danzas típicas estarán ahí reflejadas esta mañana, desde la mañana hasta las 3 de la tarde. You're going to have games. Vamos a tener juegos tradicionales de la isla. We're going to be playing traditional games from the island. So if you never know some of them, come because you are learning. Si no conocías algunas de ellas, acércate porque vas a poder disfrutar de ellas y conocerlas. También estaremos haciendo un gran display. We want to make a big display of things that could take place around a milliard. Cosas que ocurrían alrededor de la molienda, del tiempo de moler caña. ¿Yes? Moler caña. El tiempo de moler caña. Eso era, no el trapiche, era un gran season, or a whole month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe more. Till everybody from the district don't grind out all the cane fine in cane piece, so that never only the trapiche. Not true? Yes. And besides that, we're going to expose how our people used to set up the house in time gone by. Vamos a hacer un despliegue de cómo las personas organizaban sus casas en tiempos pasados. Empezando por la terraza, starting from the pieza, después your hall, el recibidor, después your dining hall, el comedor, iremos al cuarto, we are getting at the room, vamos a su cocina a saborear, we're going to go in the kitchen, and then we will see what else there in the yard. Veremos después qué otras cosas hay en el patio. Señores, nuevamente muchísimas gracias. Señora, usted también. Ladies and gentlemen, many thanks. You can now leave. And you also, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight. Damas y caballeros, gracias por estar aquí esta noche. A los que nos estuvieron viendo por los medios, también muchísimas gracias. Also, thank you. Bye bye. See you Saturday.